Hello, YouTube. It's Ryan here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing another reading log. Today we are going to talk about everything that I read in this past month of June. Now, today is the 28th, so I still have 2 days to read, but I don't really think I'm going to finish anything before the end of the month, so I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm just going to talk about everything so far, and hopefully I do get to finish the stuff that I haven't, but I very much that I will, because this week is kind of like busy for me. Like, I don't really have like school anymore. I'm done for the summer, but I have to help prepare stuff to go on our trip because we only go once a year. It's like a trip that requires a lot of effort to do. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna talk about all the stuff that I read in no particular like order of any kind beyond chronological. Like, I'm not going to talk about only light novels and then only manga and stuff like that. I'm just going to talk about everything as it kind of came and went. And then I'll tell you about stuff that I wanted to read that I didn't get to, or stuff that I started but didn't finish. So, yeah. Okay, let's start on the 2nd of June. I actually started writing everything down, like, with dates. So, I'll mention them, but I don't necessarily think it's that necessary or like that relevant. But June 2nd, I read Kuma Kuma Bear Volume 1. I really enjoyed this. It was very cute. It was very enjoyable. It was a super easy read. There wasn't really anything important that happened or like anything crazy that happened, but it was a very nice setup volume. I really loved it because it gave me like a very relaxing kind of like cute girl doing cute things in, well, actually kind of horrifying things since she was killing monsters in a fantasy setting with no high stakes. It was a very comforting, like comforting read. It was just really relaxing. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I think it was very nice. You guys can watch the review on my channel. It's going to be earlier in the month. I think it's one of the first videos of the month. I'm not really sure, but it was very good. I really did enjoy it. I think you guys should check it out. It's a very good light novel. Then I also read Mononoke Sharing Volume 1 that same day. And I didn't get back to Mononoke Sharing for a while, but I really did enjoy this. I didn't like it as much as the other two cool Kyosinjo works I have read, but I did like it. I thought it was very kind of relaxing in the same kind of vein. It was just about monster girls living together and kind of just doing monster girly things with no real like necessary like crazy stuff. It was just kind of like fun vignettes of girls doing stuff, right? So I liked it. I thought it was good. Okay, then I read on the 5th of June, I read Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense, which was actually really good. I really did enjoy it. It's very similar to Kuma Kuma Bear, but with like, it's basically Kuma Kuma Bear if it was an SAO clone, essentially. That's kind of what it is. I mean, it's about this girl that's playing a video game that she can get in and out of. So it's not really isekai in the trapped in another world sense. They're just like, it's like a video game, like lit RPG, game lit type of stuff. And she's kind of just enjoying the game, but because it's like an MMO that has VR, she doesn't want to feel the pain. So she maxed out her defense and then ends up building this crazy strong character via a shitload of accidents. And what basically ends up happening is that now she's like this OP character without wanting to do that, but she's kind of enjoying it, and it's very cute. I really do enjoy this character, Maple. She's just so dumb, but so like lovable at the same time and so enjoyable. It's just funny to see how people just like react to her doing crazy things. So again, I definitely recommend this one. I mean, generally, I don't read anything I won't like, so it's not like I don't like all of them, but I just like saying that, you know, I particularly enjoyed it. Then on the 6th, I read the first 22 chapters of Blue Exorcist, which I really liked. I thought it was really good. The first little bit of it was actually kind of boring to me because I had already watched the anime, so it was kind of like dull in comparison. Like, that's the thing, right? You watch the anime first, and you're used to the music, the fluid and the more fluid animation because it's like slightly more motion filled than a manga, and you're used to the colors, and then you're reading the manga and it's like, this is boring in comparison because there's no color, there's no music, there's nothing moving, right? But once you get past that, it's actually really good. I really did enjoy it. After Blue Exorcist on June 7th, I read Stone Stone formula arc of Dr. Stone, like the first couple chapters. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. I like the art so much in Dr. Stone. It's crazy. I'm so happy about some extra Boichi manga this month. And overall, I thought it was good. Like, it has a very good premise, and I'm looking forward to reading more of it. Then I read Saint Seiya Show Volumes 1 and 2. I like Saint Seiya. Saint Seiya Show is a Saint Seiya spin-off / side story that happens concurrently, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It's not as good as Saint Seiya, obviously, but it provides so much world building and so much development of something that was very lacking in Saint Seiya, which was the female side of things. Like, the only 3 female characters in Saint Seiya were Saori, Marin, and the other lady that was like a snake knight. And that was it. And they had to cover their faces because they couldn't be feminine if they were Knights of the Zodiac. But Saint Seiyas are not, they don't have to do that. In fact, they actually lean into more like traditional feminine things in order to kind of provide handmaidens for Saori. And throughout this, we get to see strength from a female perspective without it being about being like a man, which is kind of like what happened in the original Saint Seiya and what happens in a lot of YA fiction in the West, right? You know, as much as we like Katniss Everdeen and stuff like that, she is only a strong, independent character because she acts like a traditionally male gender role, which is like ridiculous. Like, you're kind of hurting yourself by doing that. You're supposed to be strong regardless of gender. And I thought it was really interesting that we got to see this kind of like interesting kind of exploration of femininity through like exploring how characters can be strong, right? Which is kind of the same thing that Saint Seiya did, that explored masculinity and what it means to be a man by having 5 male characters as a centerpiece, with each one having a slightly different kind of masculinity, right? And the most important one was Shun, I think. Shun was the best one to me because he showed you that in order to be a man and to be masculine, you didn't have to be like traditionally masculine. Like, you didn't have to be buff and manly and like quiet and stoic, but you could be as emotional and as soft and naive as you needed to be, as you wanted to be, because there was still strength in that. Because strength and manliness doesn't come from how you like present yourself, but rather who you are deep down and how you are strong in the sense that you do what you think is right, right? And so I thought Shun was the best character, but then they made him a girl for the the Netflix version, and that kind of ruins a lot of his characterization, I think. But I really like that we kind of have the same situation here with the Saint Seiyas here in Saint Seiya Show, sorry, which is really good. Then I read the rest of Saint Seiya Show. I read volumes 3, 4, and 5. Saint Seiya Show, like I said earlier, was very enjoyable. I thought it was good. I want to read more of it. I think there's 13 volumes out so far, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't really have much to say. I will collect it, but I didn't find any at my local Barnes and Books A Million right now, so I'll get it online, I guess. And then I read Go Ranger that same day on the 8th, June 8th. I read those 3 Saint Seiya volumes and Super Sentai Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, which is kind of like the original Power Ranger story. Yeah, and it was enjoyable. I mean, it wasn't like crazy good by any means, but it was enjoyable, and it was kind of valuable in the sense that like we know where the thing came from. Like, I love Power Rangers as a kid. I kind of enjoy Power Rangers now. Not as much. I like watching the old editions or like the old versions, but I don't really watch the new ones. And we get to see where they come from, which is really cool. I really did enjoy it. I can't wait for the Kamen Rider one, which is by the same author. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't that much to say about this that I haven't said in my review. It's kind of interesting, but it's not super well developed. I mean, it just was like a long-term advertisement for the TV show. So yeah. Okay, after that, on June 9th, I read all of the rest of Mononoke Sharing Volume 2, 3, and 4. And I actually enjoyed it. I like that the mangaka like lets you know what happens after the end of the story, after we find the ending. We usually get a epilogue where we get to see the characters kind of continue to be who they managed to be by the end of the series in the future. I like it a lot. I think it's very cute. And Mononoke Sharing is interesting, but it doesn't really offer that much. Like, I think a JoJojo is so much better. I think a JoJojo is probably my favorite Cool Kyosenja work, but I mean, like, he does better like Monster Girl stuff in Dragon Maid. Mononoke Sharing is just good in the sense that, like, it's comfy, it's relaxing, right? And then I read Red Hood and the Outlaws. I really like this. I picked it up because I really love Starfire, and I don't ever see anything with her. And I like Jason Todd, and I actually like Roy Harper as well. Although the first time I saw him was actually in the Arrow TV show. The Green Arrow is one of my favorite superheroes because of that TV show. Although it did kind of stop being good after like the third season. After they finished the Mirakuru stuff, Green Arrow started to not be as good. But I mean, overall, it was kind of enjoyable. It's not that good, but it's basically like not bad either. And I like this because it's like three very messed up individuals being heroes, and kind of doing what they have to, but along the way also finding each other, as in like a found family kind of thing. And I like it. I think it's very good. I really do enjoy it. I think it's very meaningful. And I mean, it's a good comic book. It's enjoyable. The art is good. And it has a lot of fan service with Starfire. But it's good. So what else can I say about it, really? So yeah. Then I read a bunch of One Piece. I read chapters 1 to 110, or 100 to 110 of One Piece, which is Whiskey Peak and Reverse Mountain. Like I said in my review, I found them boring, but I actually kind of don't mean that they were boring in general. I think they were boring for One Piece arcs. I like the thing with the whale, but the other stuff was kind of boring. And I didn't like the characterization of Luffy in Whiskey Peak. Yeah, I think it was in Whiskey Peak. When he fights Zoro, because it's not consistent. Like, I don't mind characters being wacky as long as they're consistent within their wackiness, which is like something Oda is really good at. So I thought it was really odd that Luffy would just like lose consistency like that. So I didn't like it. But everything else was okay. On June 10th, I read a bunch of Naruto. I read chapters 1 through 33 of Naruto, and then I read the versus Tsukasa arc of Dr. Stone, which basically means I finished the prologue section, the first 10 chapters, I think. And I liked it a lot. I think it was really good. Naruto, I'm rereading because I enjoy Naruto a lot, but I'm not really kind of like going to review it, I don't think. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not really sure. But I did want to note it because I was thinking about the art style. I had forgotten how kind of like scratchy it looked, how kind of like grungy it looked. It reminded me of Chainsaw Man, but obviously in a more refined, kind of less grungy way. But I had forgotten that it was like that because I always remember the anime, which is very like rounded and polished compared to the manga, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was good. What is it really to say about Naruto? The first bit of it isn't really that good until Sabuza, and then it's kind of like generally enjoyable, and there's a lot of fights and a lot of world building that happens in the tuning exam stuff that I like, but that isn't really the best compared to some of the later stuff. I mean, the tuning exam is definitely my one of my favorite parts, but only like the preliminary fights and then the actual tuning exam fights. And then when it turns into Konoha Crush, I don't really care about the forest stuff, which is kind of makes me a bad Naruto fan, I guess. But yeah. Okay, what else did I read? June 12th, I read 23 to 45 of Blue Exorcist, and then 45 to 68 of Blue Exorcist. So I read about 40 chapters of Blue Exorcist, which is pretty nice. I already mentioned it. I liked it a lot. It was really enjoyable. And then June 13th, I read 68 to 113 of Blue Exorcist. That weekend, I literally just read Blue Exorcist. And then June 14th, 113 to 131 of Blue Exorcist, which means I caught up to Blue Exorcist. I can't wait for July when we get the next chapter of Blue Exorcist. And then I read One Piece 111 to 134, which I think was up to Tony Chopper's introduction. And then I read on June 15th One Piece chapters 134 to 217. So I finished the rest of One Piece Alabasta Saga. And I really liked it. Alabasta is really cool. It's kind of odd. Like, I don't feel that invested with the characters just yet. Like, I like them and I want to see them kind of like do stuff, but I don't really care if they succeed or not. I'm just kind of there for the ride and just kind of enjoying them, which is kind of odd. Like, at this point, you're basically in like the Stockholm Syndrome phase, right? After 100 chapters of a manga, you love it, right? Because you're so enjoying, you've enjoyed this. You have read so much stuff, and you kind of are really invested in the characters. But to me, with One Piece, it feels like they haven't done anything yet. Like, yes, they've been on a lot of adventures, but like they haven't even started to try to achieve the goal, right? Like Naruto immediately starts trying to be a tuning, right? Like that's the whole thing. Asta immediately tries to be a good knight. Luffy hasn't really started to be the pirate king yet. He hasn't done anything yet. He just got to Grand Line and then found this girl that needed help, and then he was like, okay, we'll help you because why not? You're funny. We're friends now. And I was like, okay, great. I like it a lot. I think the fights are great. I love that Luffy isn't an idiot when he's fighting. I love it. I really enjoy it. But there's like, your goal is impossible, man. When are you going to start doing it? I don't know. I just feel like it hasn't done anything, right? Which is kind of odd. I mean, he has done stuff, but like, I feel like this is the whole story. And being Pirate King is like this section of the story. And Luffy is like right here. He hasn't done anything yet. He has just started. So, I mean, I guess that's why One Piece is 1,000 chapters long right now. But I'm really excited to get into it. I'm going to definitely read Skypiea, which is, I think, the third saga this following month. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Then, June 19th, I read Beauty and the Feast. Let me find it. Beauty and the Feast that my buddy Robert let me borrow, and I really liked it. It was really cute. It basically deals with a boy that is on a baseball team and that doesn't have any kind of good stuff going on in his life right now. And this older woman that kind of had her husband die that is depressed because she doesn't have anyone to kind of share her life with and anyone to eat her food, which is one of the things that brought her a lot of joy. And they eventually connect, and the boy gets to eat and have something going for him. And the young woman that is around 28 to 30 years old gets to have someone enjoy her food. And we kind of get this kind of really cute relationship of some sort between them. I'm not really sure it's romantic. I don't think I would care if it was romantic, but like, I don't think it would be that great if it was. I think it's very cute. I don't want it to be kind of like tainted by that kind of like rom-com fan service stuff that has to happen if they end up having a romantic relationship. But I don't know. I think it's good. I really am excited to see where this goes. And I'm definitely going to buy this for myself. I might convince my buddy Robert to let me buy it from him. But I'm not sure. Yeah. I liked it a lot. Okay. Oh, and then that same day I read Sunken Rock Volume 1. Now, this isn't available in English physically. What I did was read it on Manga Planet, which is a new-ish company that is starting to do stuff. But the thing is that, like, I think it's owned by Japan. And so, like, the English translations are not very good. Like, I think they're edited, like, they're not edited well, which is a shame because Sunken Rock is badass. But I really dislike reading it because it just didn't flow at all. There was no, like, artistry to the language. It was very kind of like translated via Google, and it felt awful to read. So I then went on Crunchyroll, and it was free to read the first volume or the first chapter, and I read that one, and then I really enjoyed it. And then I tried to read the scans to see what the difference was, and I think the scans did a better job than the official translation from Shogakukan on Manga Planet, but it wasn't as good as the one from Crunchyroll. So I'm gonna get a Crunchyroll account to read Sunken Rock, I guess. I really want them to publish it. I think it would be pretty nice if Kodansha did it. Kodansha, I think, puts out the best quality volumes. like on the daily or generally. But it would probably work nicely as a Dark Horse comic, so that way we could get a deluxe edition. But I don't really care. I just want it in English, man, and I want it in a physical format. I might have to buy the French ones. I would really not like that because I'm not that good at reading French. But I mean, I'll suffer through it if I have to, as long as I can own it physically, because Boichi is a badass at drawing, and his storytelling is maybe not the best, but it is pretty good. So yeah, I just want more Sunken Rock and more Boichi stuff. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with Sunken Rock. I just will read it at some point. Okay, then June 22nd, I read Hokkaido Gals Are Adorable, volumes 3 and 4, which is up to chapter 35, I think, which is really good. I love Hokkaido Girls, or Hokkaido Gals. It's super cute. We got a new character introduced that created some kind of like tension between the characters. We get a lot more development of the relationship type of stuff, and then it turns into a bit of a love triangle. And along the way, there's so many cute things that happen with my boy Tsubasa and the girls, Sayurin, and I can't remember the other one. The main girl, the blonde one, I can't remember her name, but I like them a lot, and I really just enjoy that series a lot. I like it so much. I hope we get a physical edition of that, but given that Viz doesn't like publishing stuff like that, I don't think we will. Although it might not be bad if Seven Seas does it, as long as they do it in like a bigger format. Like, I don't really like this tiny one for like stuff like that. But who knows? Whatever. I don't really care. I just want it physically. Then I read Naruto 33 to 45. So right at the end of the beginning of the tuning exam. And then June 23rd, I read The Dragon Reborn, which is the third book in the Wheel of Time. I finally finished it. I'll have the review out for it next month on the first couple of days of July. And when I come back from Mexico, I'll start reading the other one, the fourth one, which is The Shadow Rising. And then I'll eventually start picking up more of it so I can read the rest of it. But I have at least accomplished the goal of reading the first three before the TV show, so I can talk about the TV show, and I'm really going to be excited about it. I need to catch up on a bunch of Daniel Green stuff and some stuff from Nameless, like the YouTubers, because I really like their content for the Wheel of Time. And yeah, now that I finished Dragon Reborn, I can watch a lot more stuff. Then I read Naruto 45 to 50. And then on June 25th, I read Shadow of God, which is a Novel Horizons title that they sent me. I'll review this pretty soon. I liked it. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't really think that there was anything super great about it. I mean, so far it feels like it's a big epic fantasy story, but written in a way that makes it feel like a very basic one, which kind of sucks. Like, there's a lot of politics and a lot of large scale stuff, and I think that's really the point of it. But the thing is that, like, in order for that stuff to be good, you need a lot of time to develop it. And you can't do that in 200 pages. Like, that's just not how it works. Especially since there seems to be a lot of subplots that really aren't adding any value to the story so far. I'm not really sure. I haven't really decided how I feel about it. But generally, I think it's okay. This is like a 3 out of 5 for me. It's above average, but it's not amazing. Like, I will definitely read book 2, but like, I'm not really sure how I feel about it just yet. Okay, then June 26th, I read Naruto 50 through 100. So I started the final tuning exam battles. Naruto versus Neji is going on right now, and I'm really enjoying it. Naruto versus Neji is one of my favorite fights. However, it's like when Naruto stops being about hard work and determination and like guts, and it turns into like Naruto is the prophesized son of God or whatever, basically space ninja Jesus, as opposed to space Jesus which would be Luke Skywalker, or magic Jesus, which is Harry Potter. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I like Naruto a lot, but I do think that, you know, they kind of fumbled the ball with that whole kind of like Naruto is about guts and Naruto deals with guts and determination and stuff like that. And then you kind of get rid of it, because Neji's whole thing is like, no, it's all about fate and destiny. Then Naruto beats him because fate and destiny gave Naruto the nine-tailed fox, right? So whatever, it's kind of not great, but I also don't care because Naruto is great. I love Naruto so much. It was one of my favorites growing up, and it was kind of like the big anime for me, I guess, besides Saint Seiya, right? So yeah, then I read Delicious in Dungeon Volume 1, which I really enjoyed. It was really enjoyable. I thought it was really good. I really like the emphasis on food. Like, there's an overarching plot line about saving this guy's sister because she got eaten by a dragon, and they gotta find her before she gets digested, so they can revive her. But that's kind of like the background story. The majority of the time it's spent on finding things to eat in the dungeon and kind of cooking it and stuff like that, which doesn't really work that well. Like, it doesn't like, you can't use the recipes it does, but a lot of the techniques that they show are actually really useful. Like, the whole idea of stuffing a chicken, or what's the culinary word for chicken? Avian? No, poultry. There we go. Stuffing poultry with herbs to provide aromaticness to the dish is pretty good. The whole kind of idea of peeling tubers and cooking down vegetables and like alliums, right, which are the onion type of stuff, like onions, garlic, shallots, leeks and stuff like that. Cooking them down to remove the sharpness and bring out sweetness is really good. The whole idea of like using egg and flour to batter stuff. The kind of idea of shallow frying versus deep frying and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of good information here that I think is really useful. I mean, I kind of knew a lot of it because I really enjoy watching a lot of cooking shows and cooking techniques and kind of cooking videos on YouTube. And I really enjoy cooking as an activity. I think it's really great. And I liked it a lot. And I think the whole idea of using fantasy ingredients is very fun. I really like it. It's one of my favorite things about Cooking with Wild Game, and one of my favorite things about Drifting Dragons, which is over there. And yeah, overall, I thought it was really enjoyable. I don't necessarily think it's very good in terms of like plot line, but I mean, it's not about that. It's about the kind of world building and the characters and the kind of like cooking aspect, right? So, like, I liked it a lot. That's what I gotta say about it. And then that's all I read. So yeah, I haven't really read anything in like 2 days, and I probably won't read anything for the next 2 days, but it was good. I really enjoyed everything I read. I thought that I read a really good bit of stuff this month, and overall, I really enjoyed my time reading this month. So I think it's going really well. I'm really happy with the results of my month. However, I did start stuff that I didn't finish. And as always, that's the stuff that people send me to review. So what the hell is wrong with me, right? I don't know what to do. I just suck at maintaining pace. I mean, I'm definitely getting better at this with the fact that I do TBR and reading log videos. But, I mean, it's still kind of a thing where it's just like, I don't really feel like reading that right now. And then I just don't ever read it. So I started Brightblade, or continued it. And I restarted Rebellion of the Experiments, but I didn't get very far in either of them. I haven't really read much of either, and it sucks because I owe these guys reviews for like months. At this point, I think I basically almost a year at this point for both of them. And I hate it. I hate myself for it, but like, I'm also not going to force myself to read stuff because that's not really enjoyable, right? So this channel is about enjoying myself and kind of like reading what I want to read, and forcing myself to read stuff that I don't want to read isn't really useful. And it's not that I don't want to read this because I don't like them. It's just I don't want to read them because I didn't feel like it, right? So it kind of sucks, but it also is kind of like my thing. I don't know what to do. So, I mean, I'm adding them to the list for next month, and hopefully I get to finish them next month, since I'll be basically limited to what I can carry and whatever's on my iPad, which is going to include those 2 books. So yeah, hopefully I get to finish reading it, and yeah. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of went on a little bit extra more than I wanted to. But hopefully it's not that bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you guys read this month. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching once again. See you guys later.